Welcome everyone again to another episode of the Wilkes-Barre Connect podcast. Today, well, not today, but in this episode, I am here with Romilda Crocamo.
Correct.
I'll work on that one a few times. Who is the county manager for Luzerne County?
Right. I just say I go like Madonna and Cher, Romilda. That's all you need to know.
Okay. So my first question, because when they told me that I was interviewing you, was the question I had for everyone else is, what does a county manager do?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll tell you what the county manager of Luzerne County does. We have a home rule county. Mm-hmm. We have 11 council members who are elected at large, mm-hmm. And we actually do have a rather large county. It's about 85% of the size of the state of Rhode Island.
Okay.
And we have 1,500 employees. The county manager is not an elected position in mm-hmm. Luzerne County. Some counties have managers or chief executives who are elected. I am appointed by a supermajority of council, which means 7 members need to vote for the county manager. Mm-hmm. And what the county manager in Luzerne County does is the council really, their role is it's the power of the purse for them. Gotcha. The county manager runs the day-to-day operations of the county. So as I said, we have 1,500 employees. We have close to 300 bridges that are in various sizes, and we have about 121 miles of roads. So I take care of, we have 2 airports. We have the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Airport that is owned by both Luzerne and Lackawanna counties, although the majority of the airport is in Luzerne County. We have a smaller airport in 44 in Wyoming. So we have, I think, 7 district sheds that we operate, and we have salt sheds. We have 7 buildings that are occupied by staff members. Mm-hmm. So it's like a box of chocolate. When I go into work, I don't know what I'm going to get. So,
and how large is your staff? Because if you're doing all this, you've got a humongous staff.
Well,
right?
we have 1,500 employees, mm-hmm. and then I have 7 division heads, and then about 35 department heads.
Gotcha.
So we have Human Services, which runs the Area Agency on Aging, Children and Youth and Families, Drug and Alcohol, Mental Health, and then Veterans Affairs is in Human Services. Mm-hmm. That division and those departments do extraordinary day-to-day work for the citizens of Luzerne County. Often goes unreported. You only hear about bad things, but every day they're out really helping the marginalized and those that society ignores. So we have administrative services that includes our IT, our human resources, our election mm-hmm. office. We have something coming up in November, I think.
Little thing.
Planning and zoning.
Mm-hmm.
We have our operations, that's road and bridge, building and grounds, GIS mapping, and then we have an office of law that is staffed by solicitors, which I was a chief county solicitor mm-hmm. for years here in Luzerne County before I became the county manager. And we have judicial services and records that they're the keeper of our judicial records and our records throughout the county. We have a sheriff's department. I just learned the other day that I have the authority to deploy the sheriff. So
you've all been warned.
Everybody's been warned. My sisters are really afraid. So that's it's everything.
So how did you end up in this position then? Because that sounds like a lot to sort of oversee and be in charge of. So what was the career path that sort of led you here?
Well, it's the road less traveled. I I'm a lawyer by trade. I've been practicing law since 1991. I've worked in law firms in Hazleton, in Scranton. I've worked in New York City. I have 2 degrees from New York University, my law degree, and a LLM, which is a Master's of Law from Yeshiva University in New York City. I practice intellectual property and complex commercial litigation in New York City. And then I was there on September 11th, and it changed my life. And I came back and worked for the Women's Resource Center in Scranton. They have a legal unit, and I represented battered women and children. Where I met one of my dearest and best friends, who is now judge in Luzerne County, Judge Tina Gartley. When she became judge, she asked me to be her law clerk, so I did that. And then in 2015, Dave Pedri, who was the county manager, asked me to be the chief county solicitor. I did that until 2021, when Dave Pedri left and went on to bigger and better things. I was the acting county manager, and council didn't vote for me to be the manager, so I left for about a year. I worked for the law firm of Elliott Greenleaf and Dean, where I became a shareholder. And then the person that they selected to be the county manager left. I reapplied, and May 23rd of 2023, I came back as the Luzerne County manager.
That's a wild career path.
It's a road less traveled.
Well, we are very happy to have you back.
But I love my job. Yeah. I really love being part of what we're doing here in Luzerne County.
Well, and with the theme of LEAD being this idea of legislation and advocacy and being involved, can you talk about if there is someone, because you said this is not a publicly elected position and things of that nature, but if someone wants to get into this administrative level, sort of not so much politics, but government and in the city, what would you say to someone who's interested, or this sounds like something that they would want to be doing?
Well, you have to be interested in government. I spent a lot of my life, my work life, in the private sector. And as a private attorney and you're practicing law, time is money. Everybody who deals with a lawyer knows when you get the bill, that time is money. Government has a different pace. And there are a lot of bureaucratic hurdles that you have to go through with in government. But what government should do, and good government does, is deliver services to their constituents, whether it's a city, a county, a state, or the nation. And if you have the inspiration to be a public servant, I take those terms very seriously. We are public servants. I am working for the people of Luzerne County. I also think that I'm working for the people of northeastern Pennsylvania, because what's good for Luzerne County is good for northeastern Pennsylvania. What's good in Lackawanna County is good for northeastern Pennsylvania. So if you feel that you want to devote your time and your intellect and your emotion to try to make people's lives better, this is a good path for you. And
can you talk about, you said that was important, those 2 words, public servant. Can you talk a little bit more about that and why that's so impactful for you?
Well, I'm the keeper and the watchdog of all things government in Luzerne County, and that means making sure that the services and human services are delivered. And I have to make sure that our roads are passable. I have to make sure that our bridges are not going to collapse. And that means that not only do I have to be vigilant right now, what's in front of me, but I have to think about going forward. I mean, Drew said something earlier when he was started with volunteering in political campaigns when he was younger, that he had a future. I when I'm making a decision, I'm thinking about 10, 20, 30 years from now. And it's not just for the people that are living here now, but the people who will be living here. And I'm not going to be around in 30 years, but I do want them, I want people to say, well, when the time period that she was here, she made Luzerne County a better place.
So, and this notion of service in public and using the fact that you're the keeper of all these things, could you share some success stories or things that have sort of touched you that you've been able to see changes made there with the county in your time, the previous one or now?
Well, there's two that I'm going to highlight, and one is very controversial, and I take a lot of slings and arrows for it, but it's one of the major reasons why I reapplied to be the county manager, because I loved my job at Elliott Greenleaf. I love the law. It's the longest relationship I've had in my life is with the law. Elections. Luzerne County has had a very tricky election, certain cycles. I can tell you when I was acting county manager, the elections that we had went smoothly. And the last three elections since I came back went smoothly, and I am working diligently, and our bureau staff is working diligently to make sure that the election in November goes smoothly. There are so many moving parts in running an election, and I really wish people would know that. We have, and I have to look at all the numbers here, we have 710 ballot marking devices with cabinets with printers. We have 220 ballot scanners through Dominion. We have 220 no-ink electronic poll books. And a typical polling place is 3 to 4 ballot marking devices, 102 ballot scanners, and 102 e-poll books. And then, we have 186 polling sites. We have to get all that equipment prepared and ready to go. And I can tell you that people think, well, after an election, there's this lull. There isn't, because you have to ramp up and get ready for the next election. It means a lot to me that we have successful elections. I know there are people out there that don't want us to have successful elections, but we're going to persevere. So that's a success story, and that is something that keeps me up at night, but we're going to deliver it, and we're going to have a safe and secure and transparent election here in Luzerne County. Already, our bureau department head, Emily Cook, has been acknowledged by the state for the work that she's done with election.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's we have a very good team assembled, and we're going to go forward. We get calls all the time. All the newspapers are coming, even from Europe and from South America. They're coming to Luzerne County. And I like having the press there, but I hope someday that they're going to another county, because we're running out of room. But the second success story is kind of difficult. We have a very, very good area agency on aging. Mary Roselle, who is actually our division head for budget and finance, she's still the department head for aging. And I said to her, I want to go to all the active adult centers. I am the air hockey champion of the Hazelton Active Adult Center, by the way. But I went to one of the active adult centers, and I was having lunch with our patrons, and a woman sitting next to me, and she was telling me about her family. Most of them have died, and she lives alone. And she turned to me, and she said, "This is the only meal that I have. And it struck me at that point in time what work that we do and how important it is. It's sad that we live at a time period when, our elderly population has worked hard and are in situations where they require us to feed them, but we will feed them and we will do whatever we can to help them. At that point, I said, that's what it means to be the county manager, to make sure that these people get the services that they need.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning and sort of talking us through the important work you do, and thank you for the work that you do for this county and for the region overall. So that's it for this episode of Wilkes-Barre Connect podcast. Thank you so much.
Thanks.